In the quiet corridors of power and the bustling streets of Tehran, a question hangs heavy in the air. What if? What if the long-simmering tensions between Iran, Israel, and the United States finally boiled over into direct military conflict? A coordinated strike on Iran's nuclear facilities would be an event of monumental consequence, sending shockwaves across the globe. Let's explore the potential chain of events and the far-reaching impact. The primary target would undoubtedly be Iran's nuclear program. Facilities like Natanz and Fordo, buried deep underground, would be hit with bunker-busting munitions. The immediate goal: to cripple Iran's ability to enrich uranium to weapons-grade levels. While a successful strike could set back the program by several years, it's unlikely to destroy it completely. The intellectual capital, the knowledge held by Iranian scientists, cannot be bombed away. The more likely outcome is that a strike would drive the program further underground, making it even harder to monitor, and potentially galvanizing the Iranian leadership to pursue a nuclear weapon with renewed, unwavering determination. The retaliation from Iran would likely be swift and multi-pronged. Instead of a direct, conventional war it cannot win against the US, Iran would unleash its powerful network of regional proxies. Hezbollah in Lebanon could launch a barrage of rockets into northern Israel, overwhelming its Iron Dome defense system and causing widespread chaos. In Iraq and Syria, pro-Iranian militias would target US bases and personnel, creating a quagmire for American forces stationed there. The Houthis in Yemen, already a disruptive force, could intensify their attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea, aiming to close the critical Bab el-Mandeb Strait. This asymmetric warfare would ignite multiple flashpoints simultaneously, stretching military resources and creating a regional inferno. Economically, the world would feel the impact almost immediately. The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway through which about a fifth of the world's oil passes, would become a conflict zone. Iran could attempt to mine the strait or use anti-ship missiles to disrupt tanker traffic. The mere threat would cause oil prices to skyrocket, potentially doubling or even tripling overnight. This would trigger a global energy crisis, leading to soaring inflation, stock market crashes, and a potential worldwide recession. For countries heavily reliant on imported energy, the economic pain would be acute, leading to domestic instability and political turmoil. The ripple effects would extend far beyond the Middle East, posing significant security risks globally. Intelligence agencies would be on high alert for retaliatory attacks on Israeli and American interests worldwide, from embassies to civilian centers. The threat of sleeper cells being activated in Europe and North America would become a terrifying reality, forcing governments to ramp up internal security measures and heightening social tensions. Cyber warfare would also escalate dramatically, with Iranian hackers targeting critical infrastructure in the West, from power grids and financial systems to healthcare networks. This digital front would open up a new, unpredictable battlefield where civilians are on the front line. The international reaction would be complex and deeply divided. China and Russia, who have cultivated closer ties with Iran, would likely condemn the strikes, viewing them as an act of Western aggression that destabilizes the region and undermines their own interests. They would use the crisis to challenge US global leadership, potentially providing Tehran with diplomatic and even material support. The European Union would find itself in a difficult position, caught between its alliance with the United States and its desire for regional stability. While condemning Iran's nuclear ambitions, many EU nations would criticize a military strike as a reckless gamble, urging for an immediate return to diplomacy. This would create significant fractures within the NATO alliance. Is there any path back from the brink? De-escalation would require immense diplomatic courage and a willingness to compromise. Back-channel communications, likely facilitated by neutral countries like Oman or Switzerland, would be essential to establish lines of communication and prevent miscalculations. The first step would be a ceasefire, followed by an agreement to return to the negotiating table. A revived nuclear deal, with stronger verification measures and broader scope to include regional security concerns, would be the ultimate goal. However, rebuilding the shattered trust would be a generational challenge. The scars of conflict would run deep, making any lasting peace a fragile and hard-won prize. The scenario of a strike on Iran is a sobering reminder of how interconnected our world is and how quickly regional conflicts can spiral into global crises. The path of military action is fraught with catastrophic risks, with no guarantee of success and a near certainty of devastating consequences. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth content.